It's a new day, Newnan, yes it is, and I am the man who you cannot stand. I am the doll of the mall, baby girl. I am here for you in this world. I am Newnan Time with Harold, and we are back with a brand new episode of Newnan Time with Harold, where today we are going to finish ranking my favorite jobs I have ever worked in Coweta County. That means I can't include Peachtree City, which I've worked twice. I've worked three times. I've worked 3 times at Peachtree City, but one of them I ain't counting because it's a job that I also had in Newnan. But when I worked for Little Debbie, I worked at the Newnan Walmart and the Peachtree City Walmart. And that was just me stocking shelves, sneaking money. That sounds bad. I was not stealing from Walmart. Although I think as far as places they get stolen from, Walmart's probably the most, right? That's why they've got the door police. They've got the guy who checks your receipt and makes sure that you have all the right stuff in your cart, which I'm told is the same thing as Sam's Club. I have not been to Sam's Club, so I don't know. Maybe BJ's is the same as that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which is what way. We're coming off the heels of our mental health help-isode. And I'll tell you what, friends. I am a struggling boy. My heart hurts and my chest hurts. And it's hurt for a while. And I'm trying to find ways to get out of the funks. But it's not working. So I'm hoping that my mental health help-isode offered you some advice and some things that would help you. And I hope you understood that I am not at all saying that I don't struggle anymore because of the stuff that I'm doing. I struggle so incredibly much. It is... Sometimes I feel completely hopeless, but I have people around me who remind me that I'm not. And I've had that my whole life. I've had people around me that remind me that I'm not completely hopeless. But right now, I've needed it extra. I've needed an extra bit of help and support, and that has come. And I have found that in my girlfriend. I have found that in my child, who I do not put this stuff on. I do not tell them how much I'm struggling, but I do spend extra time with them and try to get closer to them. And I found it with my friends. So big thank you to everyone out there who knows that I am struggling and has done something about it. I need more support right now in my life than I think I've ever needed. Maybe not. It's hard to... Hindsight's hard. You know, I've realized that. I try to do some hindsight and be like, this is better than this because this is happening. And I can't do it. I have like this mental block when it comes to hindsight. I can't look back on the things and be like, it was so much better or worse. Okay, it's not that I can't. It's that I have a really hard time looking back and comparing, which maybe I shouldn't be doing anyways. Maybe I should be thinking straight. I should be like the trolley, the Newnan trolley. You know, no one wants the trolley to exist, right? Just like I don't want my depression to exist. But the trolley is a constant. The trolley is not going anywhere. The trolley is going to go drive around downtown Newnan and to Ashley Park for some reason. The trolley is going to keep moving forward. And I got to keep moving forward. My emotions is this trolley. I am an emotional trolley of love. Anyways, just wanted to say thank you to all those who have reached out and been kind to me and have tried to help me through the time that I've been going through. It's meant a lot, and there's been a good bit of you. I'm not sure. It's a funk. I'm stuck in a funk. Oh, that's my ice maker. So if you heard that, that means guess what, baby? Harold's going to get some ice. All right, so here we go. Hopping into my jobs. My number 6th favorite job of all time was Frito Lay potato chips. Now, what I did for Frito Lay potato chips is I went to the Newnan Walmart, which everybody knows, we just talked about it, and I would take the potato chips from the back room, I would haul them up front, and I would stick them all over the shelves. I worked 3 days a week. I worked Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So my job would be before the weekend rush. I would come in there Saturday morning, and I would load up those shelves. Sundays, I would have to come in, and I think it was like late late afternoon, evening, and load up those chips. And then Tuesday to prepare for the Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe, yeah, I think I'm right. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, I would come in on Tuesday. Because I specifically remember one year, it was the election where Obama was elected president for the first time. I think he was against John McCain. Maybe Mitt Romney was first. I don't remember which one was first. It doesn't matter. They both lost. And I said, boss man, my dear friend, I think his name was Sean or Jeff or something like that. Potato Chip Jeff, I would say. Potato Chip Jeff, can I have the day off so I can follow the election? And you know what he told me? No, that's not a good reason to ask for a day off work. You got to be there. So that's how I remember that I would work Tuesdays, is because I asked Potato Chip Jeff for a Tuesday off. And it did not work, but you know what? I freaking asked for it, baby. Sorry if this is boring. I'm trying my best here today. Like I said, brain not doing well. But it was an easy job. It was really... Potato chips are so easy to move around. You don't want to crush them. You don't want to make the bag pop. But just moving around potato chips and moving them to different aisles, super easy. I did develop a really bad health condition while I was at Frito Lay. It wasn't the diabetes. It was something else. What would happen to my body is when my body would try to sweat, instead of it sweating, I would break out in hives all over the place. Like my entire skin would be these little red bumps, and I would just be covered from head to toe in little red bumps that would itch and burn. And I would want to, the only way to calm down would be cold. I have to have cold on it. So I would be at Frito Lay, I would be stocking the shelves at Walmart, and if something would happen that would trigger my body to react through sweat, I would break out in hives and I'd have to stop. Now, you would think, okay, that just means don't work too hard. Like, don't lift heavy things, don't run. But remember that when you're anxious or nervous, your body also sweats. Like, that's one of the things. So it would become like if someone that I know shows up at work and they want to talk to me, I would get a little bit nervous, socially anxiety-eyed. That's right. Yeah, that's science. Socially anxiety-eyed. And my whole body would break out in these hives. And I'd be like, oh, it's really great to talk to you, but I'll be right back. And I would either go to the cold section of Walmart and just hang out with my arms in there where the milk was. Or, really embarrassed to say this, sometimes I would go into the bathroom and I would stick my arms under the sink. Or a few times, after flushing many, many times, I would use toilet water because I would be burning so bad. And I just needed it to go away, and the water from the sink wasn't cold enough. It was a horrible, horrible time with that health issue. The job, loved it. I was paid really, really well. I got to work by myself. I got to listen to music while I worked. But I got that health condition, and the health condition lasted, I think, 5 years. But it started at Frito Lay, so I don't know if something triggered it at Frito Lay. But I don't know. I don't know what started it to start happening. Maybe it was just something, an autoimmune thing. But man, did it suck. It was not fun at all to be covered in little red bumps and have to stick myself in water and freezers. Loved the job, hated that part. But if the job was still around, they're like, hey, we need to hire somebody. Bam, baby, I would be there. I would work that job in an instant. My number 5 favorite job is a job that I have made almost no money on, but I have made some. And that is this job, Newnan Time with Harold, which I don't even consider it a job, but I love doing it. It's super fun. It's super silly. I know I don't post as much as I used to. I don't post on the website as much as I used to. I know all those things are true. There is less Newnan Time with Harold than ever before. But there was a while there where I was posting about certain businesses and sharing about businesses, and they would reward me with financial compensation. And that feeling of I'm just doing something that I find silly and fun, and the fact that someone wants to pay me for that, that's really freaking cool. So Newnan Time with Harold would be number 5. It would be amazing if one day I could completely support myself through it. But I don't think that's going to happen because what The problem is if I start getting into the mindset of this is work and I have to put in all this work to make money, it stops being fun. And the point of Noonan Time with Harold has always been to have fun. So I am trying not to let myself obsess about trying to make this a lot more serious than it is. Because it ain't, man. We just chilling. We just chilling and Dylan. Chilling with Dylan. You know, I had a friend when we were kids. I had a neighbor named Robbie. And he had a little brother named Dylan. And he was a little too young to play with us and be fun and social. But he was still around all the time. And we used to try to have fun with him. But he was kind of a jerk. There was a time I was on the trampoline just laying there. And he just picked up a rock, the biggest rock he could hold. And he just threw it at my face. And it busted my eye open and I bled. He took spray paint and spray painted all over our house. Shot me with a BB gun. He was just a little too young and a little too destructive to be great. But he ended up being pretty cool. Like, he did some movies with us because I used to make home movies all the time, which shouldn't be a surprise. And he likes supporting our shows that we do now. And he just seems like a cool, silly little dude at this point. So I don't know what he's up to, but good guy. Mean kid that turned into a good guy. Anyways, job number 4. And it's one of the most beautiful romantic jobs in the entire world, and only someone as beautiful and romantic as me could do it. Oh, you didn't know? I've been doing weddings, marriages, officiating for over 12 years. And you know what? I can be booked to do yours next. Oftentimes feel awkward hanging around the wedding after my officiating is done. But I love, and only 3 of all the marriages that I have officiated have ended in divorce right now. That's pretty good, considering I've done 10, 11 at this point. So it's not something I do a lot of. Like, I don't get to do it every weekend. But it's something that I have gotten to do, and I very much enjoy it. I like dressing up. I wear bees, because the first wedding I did, it was a bee-themed wedding. It was for my little brother and his amazingly wonderful wife. And their whole thing was bees. They had a prayer to the bees. They had bee decorations. I got to officiate that one, and I came up with some bee things to say. So I wear bees. I wear bees on my tie. I wear bees on my ears. Unless I'm asked specifically. Like, I've been asked before, hey, here are our wedding colors. Please respect it. And then there will not be as many bees. But I love it. I love doing it. I love coming up with the vows. I like it when they choose not to write their own vows. And I get to be like, all right, well, you know what then? I will write up some vows for you, and we can use those. So if you ever want to do a wedding, if you ever want to get married and you need an officiant, I will do religious, I will do secular, I will do bee. That is what I do. And job number 3 is horizon heating and cooling. This was an air conditioning working job, which why in the world would that be one of my favorites? Well, I had a really great boss. He was my best friend at the time. Now, not so much. Now we don't speak. And this is when I actually discovered that I was a diabetic while working with him. I was up in an attic and I just started feeling so bad. And I started vomiting outside and trying to eat stuff and vomiting it back up. And then I went back up in the attic and I would pass out and I would get up and I would try again. Then I would pass out again. And I'd go to the customer's bathroom and I would just pass out on their floor. And my boss during all this was so understanding. He was such a good boss. He drove me by the emergency place afterwards and he was like, hey, you should really get checked in. And I talked him out of it. But then I ended up getting checked in the next day. He was always understanding if I needed to miss a day. He was always understanding if... what was I going to say? He was always understanding if my blood sugar was high, my blood sugar was low. He would do his best. He would provide drinks. He would provide snacks. He was just A really great friend, really great boss. It was usually just me and him working. And aside from burning heat and freezing cold attics, a really fun job. Like working air conditioning units is not difficult. You get to go to the house. One person goes up into the attic, one person stays down and works on the outdoor unit, or sometimes it's just one unit, depending on what all needs to be done. It's very straightforward. You don't get a lot of confusion. It's just a really good job. So when I find out people worked in HVAC, I'm like, oh my God, me too. I love working HVAC. So I've been in hundreds of your homes at this point doing HVAC. So if I was ever in there and I was middling around, madoodling in there, I probably left my name, because what I did was I took a Sharpie and I wrote my name in everybody's attic. Which is not true, but man, that would have been a good idea. I just thought of it. Oh, I'm so stupid. That would have been hilarious. Honorable mention. We're going to Peachtree City, because in Peachtree City, I also worked at Mastermind Escape Room. And wow, that was a fun one. If this was not just a ranking of Newnan, Coweta County jobs, then Mastermind Escape Room would be way up there. I was a shift manager. I got to run the escape rooms. And it was just so much fun, man. Like getting to be a character and then just sit in an office chair in a pretty comfortable spot and watch people on a video camera as they're running through an escape room and they're having a great time usually, and all I'm doing is giving them hints and clues and stuff. So much fun. The problem with the Mastermind Escape Room was the hours were terrible. You'd be put on call, and what that means is you just sit there at your house not being paid, and you only will get paid if something books. But you also have to make sure you are available. So you can't go get a second job during those hours. You can't commit to doing something with friends in those hours. You have to sit at home and wait, which when you think about it, them doing that and not offering to pay you, really shitty, real dumb. So I spent too much time waiting on call at home and not enough time making money. So I had to let it go. The pay was also like $11. I don't know how much they pay now, because I left there a couple months ago. So I guess it's possible that they gave everybody a raise right after I left, but I doubt it. But a great job, super fun. If the pay was $5 more, it would be one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. But $11 an hour, sometimes tips, but not often, and the being on call, all combined to make that one amazing and a pain. Job number 2, Newnan Theatre Company. Now, Newnan Theatre Company, you may have remembered it as an all-volunteer theater. It has stopped doing that. It stopped being all-volunteer because they were making money and they wanted to pay the people who were directors, which is how it should be. That's how theaters should do. That is a great way to be, and I was very happy when I found out that I would start getting paid, because when I first started at Newnan Theater, God, how long ago? I was 18, so a long time ago. I can't think of exactly how long. But when I first started doing stuff at Newnan Theater, it was all volunteer, and there wasn't a lot to be done. Now it's grown into something a lot more professional, and that's been shown in the quality of the productions they do. I was there through so much stuff, through so many different directors and theater leaders, and I've seen it go in all these different cycles. Some of them were creative geniuses. Some of them were production geniuses, which there's a very big difference between if you can put on a great production versus if you can put on a creative production. Some of them were acting geniuses, and they could bring out some of the best actors. Like, I could tell stories about Newnan Theatre Company. We could do 10-hour podcast, and I could talk about it. There's so many stories. I'll just get into what happened with me in Newnan Theatre Company for a moment. I had a hard time when, and this is because I'm weak. No, I shouldn't just insult myself. I was not strong enough to make this change in my brain. This is something that I have done for fun for community, to entertain myself, and to grow with others. And then all of a sudden, when it did go to now you're getting paid for it, I took it way too seriously. I flipped in my brain of, all right, well, now I've got to be the absolute best. And now I've got to make sure I'm earning that. And now I got to make sure everyone that's doing a production with me is on it. And they're taking it as seriously as me. When everyone doing the production with me is not getting paid, and they're not getting a good opportunity like I am getting. They're getting to be there for that reason that I used to love being there. So unfortunately, I lost sight of why community theaters are special. And I lost sight of why theater is special. And I lost sight of why the friendships and the working together on a project are all special, because I had so much pressure to feel like I had to be the best by myself. So I stopped asking for help. I started just doing productions my way. I stopped letting people be creative as much with me, because I thought doing it my way is the way I can make sure that I am worthy. And this isn't pressure that people were really putting on me necessarily. There was definitely some times politically where there were things said to me and said about me behind my back that were horrible. And I'm hurt that would happen, because even though I pulled away emotionally and socially and tried to run things in a different attitude, I had been through a lot with a lot of people. And a lot of people understood my mental health stuff. And a lot of people could have at least just tried talking to me a little bit more. It would have been nice to just have more people, more of my friends, sit down and talk to me early on. Some of them did, and I'm not at all saying, wow, nobody from Newnan Theatre Company sat down and talked to me. The ones that I really needed to hear from, the ones I considered my best friends or really close friends, not enough of them did when I started getting bad in my head. And that's because I hurt them. That's because I made the environment for them not fun anymore. And so I can understand why that is. But man, it hurts when you do make a mistake and you do present yourself in a way that's unflattering and you lose so much and no one will talk to you about it. Not no one. That's not what I mean to say. A lot of people won't talk to you about it. A lot of people won't. Like, I want to know the people that I've hurt, and I want to hear from it, and I want to understand how I can be better, and I want them to understand what my thought process was. I'm not looking for forgiveness, and I'm not looking to be friends with everybody again. But it's really hard to have a social circle that was close to 100 people, and then you have a rough patch, and it goes down so small. And it's something I've never gotten over. Honestly, I'm still working through it emotionally, losing that many people. But I know that it came from me, and I started it, and I made the environment bad for the people that I said I cared about. And so they found me an unsafe person, and so they've shut me out. And I understand. I'm sure I've done that to people. But man, I miss it. I miss the people. And I miss feeling like I'm allowed to make mistakes, and then I'm allowed to apologize, and we're allowed to talk about it. I miss that, and that's gone, and that's hard. It's not gone completely. Again, I don't want anyone listening to this to go, wow, every single person hurt him. No, that's not true. I've had some people who are willing to talk to me, and it meant a lot. It's just, I lost a lot, and I haven't gained trust back, and I haven't gained friendships back to the point that I would like, which I don't feel embarrassed saying that I wish I had those friendships still. But again, that came from me making mistakes and me changing my attitude towards theater, and them in a lot of ways not giving me a chance to make up for it. But for the most part, I totally get it. And I fucked up. Sorry, cuss word. Finally, let me drink some water. I started my own company in 2023. And the company is like like I'm a host. I'm a host DJ, not DJs, and I'm not going to play you a bunch of music for you to dance to, but I'm a host. And I do trivia, and I do bingo, and I do improv events, and I do stand-up comedy events. And these are all things that come just for me directly. It's called High Spirits Entertainment. And I have a website, highspiritsentertainment.com. So like high spirits, like a ghost, a spirit ghost, and also high spirits as in like, hey, we keep our attitudes up. High Spirits Entertainment is my favorite job I've ever had because it's me getting to be creative, and I've actually made a good bit of money off of it, and I've actually made myself really proud. I'm good at hosting trivia. I'm good at hosting bingo. I'm good at hosting improv shows. I'm good at hosting stand-up shows. Honestly, I should put officiating weddings over there because High Spirits Entertainment is just me selling me. It is come pay for me to help entertain your venue or your private event. I've done private parties too. That is what I bring in my High Spirits Entertainment. It's just betting on myself and seeing it pay off, which is really awesome. I wish there was more of it. I wish more people would let me do it. But it's growing. It's growing at a slow and steady pace. I have work every single week that is for that specifically. And I don't know how else I would have done it if I wouldn't have worked hard and really bet on myself. So good job there, me. So that's it. Those are it. Those are all my favorite jobs, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing about them. I hope you visit highspiritsentertainment.com and check that out. I hope I wasn't so mumbled-mouthed like a silly little goose when talking about sad things, because honestly, while talking about some of these jobs, I am also trying not to get sobby about it. I'm trying to just stay focused and remember that I have to rebuild myself and my self-esteem and my confidence. And if I made a bunch of mistakes, don't make them again. And that is the greatest lesson that I can give myself, is to not make those same mistakes again. But I love you so much. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, you know what to do. Let me know.